10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Navi's turn to ban.
Come on.
Radiant team ban.
Rubik.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
I'm doing much better. Get a little bit of a later start, which is always nice. We have a Meepo ban. I mean, sure, I guess there's a chance that Cloud9 maybe go for that, but I don't really know if that's really worth your ban, Navi. This is actually looking pretty familiar. Earth Spirit, Crystal Maiden opening, got from I believe a different team. It wasn't Cloud9, I don't think. But Navi grabbed Rubik first, as per usual. River's Rubik has been, I don't know, not flashy, just been like kind of going under the radar, rather consistent. But sometimes you need those flashy Rubik plays.
Navi's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
I mean, honestly, Crystal Maiden, Earth Spirit, that duo is deadly enough to threaten pretty much anyone. Like, yeah, you're most likely going to be going towards the mid lane, the lane that you could most easily abuse. Baby Knight could definitely use that help in this matchup versus Dendi, and Cloud9 usually want to give Baby Knight that good start. But you're looking at a hero like Underlord in the offlane, who, I mean, up against this amount of crowd control and a lot of right clicks in between, as long as Ace is playing at all a decent hero at doing any sort of damage early on, like a Slark type hero is going to be just fine with this. They ran the Lifestealer earlier with this Earth Spirit setup for down the road. Would also be pretty good. They can actually gank any given lane, pretty much regardless of who the matchup is. So just opting for a very aggressive tempo setting opener is going to be quite nice up against Navi, who have shown that Biver's Rubik especially is not really going to be doing something similar. He's usually just sticking in one lane.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Pretty much the extent of what Cloud9 is going to be throwing at that mid lane. From CM and Earth Spirit. it is maybe a little bit more desirable to grab their supports as well to make sure that they are able to protect Dendi. But honestly, you can grab Dendi's here, and you'll be just fine in doing so. I say that it's a pudge, and yeah, we all know that it could maybe be, but it's most likely going to be an Armen support here for the Armen pudge support. Yeah.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Ursa Warrior.
Navi's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Yeah, you don't really need that much to kill off the Underlord. Just Crystal Maiden or Earth Spirit and their slows or roots or whatever, and Underlord is just going to get torn apart by the Ursa. I actually really like this Pudge pick for Navi. Even before that Ursa pick, like you're looking at Cloud9, a lot of soft heroes in the Crystal Maiden and the Shadow Fiend, so if you hook them, they're pretty dead. It's a nice hero to have just camping out near that mid lane, pressuring the Shadow Fiend. If you get 1 or 2 pickoffs, then SF's game is just so glacially slow. And you could also use the hook to save Dendi from a roll-in, or even, hook out an Earth Spirit from his roll-in target. I don't know how we missed this. Lone Druid somehow was still in the pool. Lone Druid's been causing some issues in some of these games, but we only saw it from Secret, I believe. No other team was allowed to pick it up.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, the Lone Druid was picked by Secret twice, was it? Yeah, twice. The second time MP nearly losing the game for them by dying a couple of times in those crucial fights. But overall, I mean, I've seen some of Lone Druid, but I think it was more of a mid-ones Invoker that carried the game yesterday. It wasn't really, Lone Druid's OP, he's just there going ham. Cloud9 actually showed how to deal with him. Just get on top of him and then beat him up, because ranged Lone Druid is not the tanky hero that you know, so very easy to snipe off compared to the normal Fat Bear version. So Ursa Warrior, similar to a Lifestealer Bomb, gonna be able to jump on top of that Lone Druid and blow him up with a simple pickup like a blink. So I don't think Cloud9 are too concerned with this Lone Druid pick. And besides, there's no Ogre to buff him up as well.
Yeah, there's no buffs for the Lone Druid outside of just his own buffs. The saves that Navi have should Lone Druid get jumped by an Ursa and Earth Spirit, limited to a Pudge, which is possible to get the saves on the Lone Druid, although the angles need to be perfect. It is very difficult to actually make that happen if your Lone Druid is in trouble. So Navi are lacking that ability to save the Lone Druid. If they do get into a position where they're able to themselves right outside of the Cloud9 towers, let the Lone Druid go to work with just his right-click damage, have Pudge and Underlord kind of as backup fishing with hooks and whatnot, then they could be in a really powerful position, especially if they pick up like a Tinker kind of hero with that March with the laser to really solidify their position.
Yeah.
It's going to be an OD
I said
instead.
OD. Yeah, I mentioned OD because the bubble, we're talking about saving. That's the only guy that really fits that role right now. We saw Excalibur playing a pretty solid 2 games of OD the other day as well, constantly banishing clutch saves on teammates himself. It's a hero that definitely will draw some attention, and Brewmaster comes up again for Cloud9. They are the only guys that pick this, I think.
I mean, that's fine. If it's your jam, it's your jam. You got a lot of bears in this game. I think they really like it up against just Lone Druid. First of all, being able to blind OD and Lone Druid is really big game with that Drunken Haze. Once you actually get the split off, and Navi don't really have a ton of tools to guarantee that's not going to go off, then you can just Cyclone spam on the Lone Druid's bear if that's an issue, or the Lone Druid himself. And then Navi are kind of without one of their biggest damage dealers. And without that damage dealer, there's no one to really challenge the Ursa and the Shadow Fiend, who are obviously going to be doing all the damage on the Cloud9 end. On top of that, you have Clap with the Crystal Maiden Aura, which is a ridiculous amount of damage with that spell. infinite mana.
5 seconds.
Yeah, a lot of crowd control there. So I really like this Brewmaster pick for Cloud9.
Really strong addition to heroes that do have spammable spells, but not enough mana pool to support it, like Noya, as well as like he's mentioned, Brewmaster. Even Ursa can maintain an Earthshock spam build if he wants. Shadow Fiend gonna alleviate some of that Shadow Raise mana cost. All really good stuff to get a good foothold in this game. Coming into this more mid-range kind of lineup, you really want to get a good early game. So Cloud9 going to be on the Radiant side. Na'Vi taking Dire. I think they have been on Dire every single game. So Pycat must like something or know something that we don't, because he's picking that side every single round.
And I think every other team is like, oh, Radiant, no-brainer Radiant, always Radiant.
Yeah, and they're happy to give away the Dire.
Yeah. This is, I think, the first time we're going to see, well, at least you and I are going to see Pycat on the Lone Druid. I don't think Dendi has played the OD, but you know, it probably still is going to be almost just as usual for the Na'Vi squad. It is mostly going to be a defensive early game, though, for Na'Vi. Like, you can maybe try to go for a couple hooks with RMN. If you land one, great, but I would expect Ryze and Noya, the Earth Spirit CM combo, to be, you know, kind of running this game, and Na'Vi don't really have that much counterplay. Lone Druid early on can't really do that much once he's rolled into.
"30 seconds to battle."
At maintaining his good Rubik reputation. So we'll see if he does roam or stick around. He has gone for level 1 Faith Bolt, so definitely a different decision to skill a point. Maybe it's a misclick, maybe it's not, but usually you see players holding onto the skill point in case they do get an opportunity for a kill. But Faith Bolt level 1 means he's thinking about harassment, maybe.
Yeah, the only reason you go for Fade Bolt here is because you're going up against a Shadow Fiend who doesn't really start out with the most base damage. You're going to look to lower his damage, try to chip out a little bit of regen out from him, and you look at Baby Knight's inventory right now, just 2 shared tangos. So if Rubik does just there dump a couple Fade Bolts into the SF, it may just give Dendi the advantage he needs just to lock down the lane moving forward. Of course, there is risk if he somehow runs into an Earth Spear or something like that. He does not want Fade Bolt, but it seems like Viver wants to stick around this mid lane for as long as possible.
Yeah. So Viver doing a little bit of the Ogre, giving Shadow Fiend the Ogre treatment, just zapping him, and the buff to Fate Bolt, actually, or rather the revert on the nerf to Fate Bolt, actually coming to play here. Fate Bolt is slightly cheaper now. Oh,
punish.
the roll in though! Pycat does get first blood, so this will not go unpunished. And because the irony of it all, they tried to stop the Shadow Fiend getting souls, and with that kill, he gets full souls right away. So Dendi's already gonna have a hard lane right off the get-go. So Noya with a sick roll will punish the Rubik rotation.
Unfortunately, I think we were both watching mid for that roll in, and we missed what happened up towards top. Brewmaster going for Drunken Haze first.
Yeah, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, General almost died there too. But you go for Drunken Haze first as Hestajo, just trying to mess with Pycat's CS. You don't really have any counterplay once the Rod comes in. So Pudge is now level 2, and this lane for Brewmaster just got a lot more difficult. Even if he was with Cloud level 1 or 2.
Again, he's caught again. Joe in a lot of troubles. There Orb of Venom? No, there's no Orb of Venom on the Pudge, but there is on the Spirit Bear plus the Blightstone. That's a second kill. Yeah, you don't mess with Pudge, especially when you don't have your defenses. But now they pull back the SF. Baby Knight in trouble. Nope, not at trouble at all. Baby Knight drops the double raise, and Rubik, you figure he learned his lesson by now. But feeds 2 kills over to Baby Knight. I think Dendi's gonna start saying, all right, maybe you do something else elsewhere.
Shadow Fiend is currently being out CS'd by the OD, so yeah, it is costing them a couple of Rubik kills here and there, but Dendi is still doing just fine here, and they're getting kills elsewhere, so it's not optimal, obviously, but for Na'Vi, it is probably going to be good enough. I mean, like, what else would Viver be doing right now? It's helping to kill off the Brewmaster? They obviously don't need that help, so you might as well just try to pressure Baby Knight and make sure that Dendi gets his CS advantage.
Yeah. Oh, Baby Knight is definitely loving this start. max souls all the time. But Ace has been trading pretty okay with the Underlord. Underlord did not get that many CS, but in terms of health pool, the Underlord has been putting it to the Ursa, dropping him quite low earlier on. No Pit of Malice to push the issue, but enough to scare Ursa back into his creep wave. And already munched on this last tango, so all that regen's gone. So General might go for more trades. Top lane again. Yeah, this Brewmaster is having as good as a time as that Rubik.
Well, Hasta Joe
at least they do get a pick off now.
Yeah. Just roll in towards the Lone Druid. Panic Savage Roar, not quite going to help because of the Crystal Maiden's positioning slightly outside of that AoE. And Lone Druid apparently missed his Pudge buddy. Arman's actually going all the way down bottom. I don't know if they can kill Ace. It's going to be hard.
Oh, they got him. The Malice will start things off, but you have that overpower. Ace is going to get re-trapped again. I think that was going to be enough. The fire will burn him down. The hook did not get him, but it was enough damage to nuke him down. So this is a very high level Underlord, so there is enough burst damage to take him out. Pudge is really scary in the early game, especially once he gets a good start here and there, gets boots, a couple of levels. A Rod Hug can easily turn into a double team, so very well done there by Na'Vi. Rotations all round.
Unfortunately, Arman is out of mana though, so this angle on Baby Knight is really good. They have vision of him from an earlier place Observer Ward as well. Arman is in a sandwich.
Uh-oh. Noya, maybe kick him. There's a roll though. 80% slow, very strong stuff. Arman still getting slowed there. The kick comes out. The SF will be looking for that raise. Holding it. Yeah. Tried to juke that raise, but not gonna happen. Baby Knight even finds a double damage for his efforts. And he's up to a killing spree now. So all those ganks just feed him with souls. So Na'Vi, counterproductive ganking coming out here in the middle lane at least.
I don't really know why Pudge was back there with no mana. Like, you may be able to rot down Baby Knight if he's all alone and you know he's all alone, but, you know, when has that ever been the case in this game? It just hasn't been happening, so it was a little bit ambitious for the Pudge to even be there in the first place. And it is going to be Baby Knight with a good game. They're going to try to go again for mid.
Yeah, there's gonna be Rod hugging here. Araman just slowing everyone down. There is a double damage on the Shadow Fiend, though, not to be messed with. Araman, is he gonna run away? Yes, he will. Baby Knight gonna pull back in. Dandy missing on the Banish show, but well, I guess just for farming. But he will get that last hit on the Shadow Fiend. Almost a costly mistake if he went out of range. So a killing spree going to Dandy, definitely a good trade back their way. And Araman even getting that deny, very big play from him.
Yeah, I mean, C9 have an advantage with Baby Knight right now, and they really don't need to push that hard in order to kind of ride that advantage into a little bit of a better mid game here. Going into tower range, expecting Na'Vi to come in with, you know, a Pudge who can just mess everything up. You know, you're messing with an Imprison, which of course is going to turn the numbers advantage towards Na'Vi. There's a lot that can go wrong. They're going to go for General now, though.
Yeah, that's the trap. It's not enough. Ace will pop out of that with the Enrage and follow through on that Pit Lord, so that's gonna be an easy pick off here for Ace. And Ace has actually been a very opportunistic carry from the games we have watched, always knowing when to turn up to the fight. So I imagine with this start that he has had, he's gonna look to hold TPs, go to fights very, very early into the game, and get those pick-offs that he really wants.
Going for Helm of the Dominator first will let him have an easy time tanking Roche with some other creep. That is actually going to be the play for him. You do have to watch out for Pudge if that is your plan for C9, but Ace is looking like he will be able to get into that Roche pit kind of early. And with Shadow Fiend's start, I mean, even after that death, he's still going to contribute a lot of damage if they want to commit more than one hero into that area. They should have split by then as well. Definitely will have split by then as well. A lot of roaming going around, but you know, at the end of the day, we got Rise level 5 on the Crystal Maiden. Is gonna get hooked.
Yeah, that Observer what paying dividends, but Rise, is he gonna outspeed them? I don't believe so. Rise getting closer with the Fart Cloud and the roll coming in though. Arman, oh wow, is the Crystal Maiden really getting out? He does have another spell though, and yeah, Biver might run in there, try and Fate Bolt the CM. He's still out of range. Baby Knight will claim him, so that's gonna be a kill that way. How's the Pudge looking? He does escape with a TP, so that's a Rubik down, and the Crystal Maiden managing to outspeed the Pudge again. Early farm coming to play here, just walking away because she has Tranquils.
Yep. It's the first time ever you guys are going to see Crystal Maiden outrun somebody. And it was narrow as well. I think she was actually like 5 movement speed behind the Pudge. So Pudge, given like a couple more seconds, would have caught up with that Rot and just one would have gotten the kill. But man, level 5 CM, level 5 Earth Spirits, these supports have been doing quite a lot of work. They do have to measure how far they actually go in now because they are such a high level. They give over a lot. Maybe not.
Armament sees the Shadow Fiend. Oh, no. Gotta toss that out right away. And not gonna latch there. So 6-4 now. The kill score favoring Cloud9. Goal graph. Let's take a look. Slightly in the Radiant favor, but overall not too worrying for either side just yet. Pycat has built up treads. Yeah. So very standard build coming up from Pycat. Bottom lane. A slight tussle gonna be happening here, but Na'Vi actually rotate Pycat down. So they're gonna free up the top lane for Brewmaster and try and transition this bottom lane into a push. We'll see if they're successful. The Shadow Fiend is middle, so most of their wave clear is not around.
They do have level 4 Bear, so it does have Demolish. Bringing down this tower is definitely possible for Na'Vi, but I think C9 are powerful enough to actually want to fight over this. Hesta Joe's getting a lot of farm in the meantime. With the ability to come in with the split, this is incredibly risky by Na'Vi here.
Then DD. But the roll in here, the kick will land on MP once again, but Pycat will scoot on out. It's a really fast movement speed there on that hero, but the primal split will have those pandas getting Pycat's number. The flame comes in, the raise comes out, Pycat very low ticking. You will get clubbed down by Neuer and you will roll forward there. The Cyclone will cause him to miss the roll in, but Rubik is going to be having his head in the clouds there. Burst damage coming in. Puss tries to rescue him, but it's not going to pay off as, well, Dendi and General have already backed out from that fight. I thought that would have gone better for them. Double damage on Dendi and all.
The OD doesn't really have enough to really hide behind. Once the split comes out, you're not going to be focusing those little split guys. Earth Spirit is going to roll in very decisively, and you can try and sit and hit him, but you know that the follow-up from Ace and Baby Knight are both going to be coming in. Ace was able to chase away both Dendi and RMN pretty much by himself, and essentially take himself out of the fight for 2 of the Na'Vi heroes. Na'Vi, now that the split is down, can probably go ahead and finish off this tower, but that first push, incredibly risky, knowing that they're playing into split. You know that C9 are probably going to fight over it. They're still going to go for it. They still might actually fight over it.
Well, this tier 1 was probably going to fall first, but they have a glyph, so 5 seconds of bot time here. Neuer gonna look to roll in again with that Earth Spirit. The bear, does it get it? Yep, the bear gets it, but Na'Vi, they're gonna lose Pycat if they're not careful. Nice Savage Roll will pull Neuer away, and the Pit of Malice actually does latch them down. So, good disengagement there from Na'Vi, and right now, I don't think they're looking to fight, just backing off, taking as much objectives as they can, and try and farm up for the middle game.
So much earlier timing for Na'Vi to make these aggressive plays than you would really expect. And the only timing that they have working for them right now is the fact that the bear maxed out in Rabid and it has Demolish. So the bear will be attacking pretty quickly. Everyone else on Na'Vi would, rather be getting a couple more items up. Like Mechanism on General is that big timing to hit. Envy's gone for Hand of Midas first, which when you get that, you don't exactly say, okay, it's time to go push towers. Usually you kind of want to hit the brakes. So it is kind of a surprising timing for Cloud9 to actually deal with, and it gets them a tower, but at the cost of a lot of kills. And C9, even though they lose that tier 1 tower, that's really not a big deal. They're still farming very well, especially on Baby Knight. 4, 1, and 2, Dragonlance already. He's going to look to kick people off. Shadowblade pickup.
Yeah. Well, Pycat has that Dragonlance built up for him already. Yeah, but this Shadowblade definitely gonna look to catch someone off guard. Neutral creep kills off Pudge. Just a suicide. I don't think that was intentional. Yeah.
I don't think that was intentional either.
Yeah, that was not intentional. So Biver is gonna say, alright, let me get that level 6 then. No, not gonna go there and get that level 6. Would like to see some crazy Rubik steals again. What spells are we looking at? We have Frostbite, we have Thunderclap. We have Primal Split in the rarest cases, but it could happen.
The spells to steal aren't really fantastic here. Primal Split is by far the best, but it would require him surviving until the end of Primal Split. Hesta Joe's going to pick a fight with RMN right now with Split available top.
Yep, the fire comes down. That's a lot of damage onto that Panda, but the Panda does have the ulti, so one more orb here. He will have to back off, so he deploys that primal split. Dendy's in trouble. There's the Cyclone to take away his...
Oh, wow.
Oh, no! There's a Cyclone to take away his haste. No, this one doesn't work that way. Okay. But the kick comes in there. The Rubik steals that kick, but they will actually lose their... They'll actually lose their OD. As a result, it's very interesting that the Cyclone animation works that way. But now Joe in trouble. The hook coming out from RMN will find the Panda. And Biva not actually stealing that one. The bite comes out onto Noya. Biva trying to look for an opening here. Has Frostbite, but nothing much he can really do about that. Now deploys that ultimate general, trying to piece out. Will he get out in time? Nope. The triple kill for Baby Knight happens, and Pycat will be forced to TP away. No kill gotten there. And yeah. Could say it's luck, could say it's skill. That Cyclone on Dendy preventing the hook save. Pretty crazy.
I don't think I've ever seen a Cyclone do that before. It definitely not from a Brewmaster.
It's a different Cyclone. It doesn't even pudge.
Yeah, so just lifting him up, canceling the hook save is something that I did not anticipate would happen in this game. But at the end of the day, what happens is that Na'Vi find themselves behind some really awkward trees. And because there's so many trees in the way, they can't get on top of Baby Knight. With the Dragon Lance, it makes it obviously a lot more difficult. They killed off a whole bunch of heroes C9. Also managed to pick off Pycat's Bear, which just wandered a little bit too close. And here's a problem for Na'Vi. If Baby Knight is ahead, and he is, how do they get on top of the Shadow Fiend? How do they pressure him? Because it seems like outside of like a Force Staff Imprison or a stray Pudge Hook, no one can really get on top of this SF.
Yeah, the whole problem of Shadow Fiend and Na'Vi, I think, they just can't deal with the amount of protection that the Shadow Fiend has. There's Ursa that you have to run away from. There's a Brewmaster you have to run away from. It just fits Cloud9's aggressive draft. It's almost the same as yesterday's against Secret. It's just that Cloud9 are executing really well now. I guess we'll have to see and really wait if they'll do something funny again. But Rise walks right into our man. Very well known for solo warding, solo wandering around on his own. Gonna get picked up, but there might be a retaliation kill here. Iron Man, losing a lot of life very fast, and Noya actually securing that kill with the kick. I think he might deserve a respect ban after this game.
Noya plays the role very well, so I mean, he also
it's
just
not
played,
just the
Earth Spirit, obviously. But yeah, he's been pretty much everywhere. In this game and the last game we saw from Cloud9 when they ran the similar support opening. And Ace now has the Aegis, and I don't even think they really needed the Aegis if they're gonna go for this tier 1 tower. General's counter push is pretty good, but there's no creep wave here. Like, it's just Baby Knight hitting the tower.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Noya just going for the blind rolls, hopefully tagging a target or two. But Ace has that Aegis and the blink, so things could get scary soon. Pycat does have the Dragon Lance, but no Hurricane Pike, so escaping the Ursa is going to be a little bit more difficult. Although he does have the Savage Roll for the bailout. It's going to be a tricky engagement. Na'Vi look for snipes, but not gonna be taking full-on clashes there. They see Ace though. I don't think that's something you want to pull in. They go for the hook anyway. Bite on the Ursa before he pops and Enrage. Savage Roar, is it there? There's the lift off. He does deploy that Enrage. Iron Man. That's the Savage Roar. Is it going to pop that Aegis? Yes, it will. So Pycat, I think, should be running away now. But Noya, if track record is anything, he is going to be able to catch this Pycat. Lone Druid is still running really fast. OD, they drop the Sentry Ward though. Baby Knight deploys that Raccoon of Souls. Not going to be enough damage though. The Pit of Malice comes in, locks in the SF. Raccoon is stolen, but Rubik does not get a chance to use it. Joe goes in, slams the ground. It's going to start the Primal Split. And OD going to get lifted up. Going to banish himself, but I don't think he's going to be able to buy himself that much time. The race is going to be there, and Baby Knight claims another. The Shadow Blade is going to be there. Pycat gets hooked out to safety, but there's the Sun again. The bite will have to come out from Ace. But Pycat dropping very low there. One tick away from that triple kill. Baby Knight coming in, hitting General. The Pit of Malice will lock them all out. They lose the Bear. And Na'Vi really struggling in this game number 1 of this best of 2. And we mentioned they need the win.
And that is, they need the 2-0 win.
Yeah, they need the 2-0.
And it's looking a lot more difficult given the state of this game right now. Baby Knight ends that fight with literal full HP, even though he was the one pushing forward first. Joe just picked up his Blink Dagger, and that's a pretty good time to show it off as well. You are Na'Vi and you try to go for an Ursa, who's not an easy kill to begin with an Aegis, knowing that there's still a Shrine up, knowing that there's still a bottom tier 2 up for Cloud9 to teleport to, like, starting that fight at all was just not really what Na'Vi should be looking for right now. They have a hand of minus on Dendi. I do think it's probably was in their best interest to kind of sit on that and ride that out into a little bit more of a late game scenario, but trying to push the issue, trying to be aggressive very early on into a Brewmaster, that just seems kind of suicidal to me.
Yeah, the hook, I mean, the hook on Ursa, they had the right idea, they popped the Aegis, but taking a full-on clash like that seemed really foolish. They should have disengaged after General hit the pit on the SF and left whoever couldn't get out of behind. But in the end, Na'Vi get punished, but they do actually find the Brewmaster, so that's a big kill to get. We'll have that recall going out. General, is he gonna take the mech? Nope. 300 damage to swing. Ace will pick him off, and I love this Aghanims coming out. Ace is gonna counter the one main obstacle, that is the Punch Bite against him, so picking up the Aghanims will be really big for him.
Pit of Malice too. Get rid of that.
Yeah, it already gets rid of Pit of Malice without having to have
an
an axe.
Cooldown reduction though, so you could get rid of Pit of Malice always.
True.
Yeah, and it's just going to be a very high consistent item for this Ursa. If Na'Vi really do want to play like this, they will need another answer to this Ursa, and I'm not really sure who's going to bring that one. Bear Astral Imprisonment, probably at a certain point their best bet. And that kill on Brewmaster is nice and everything. They do need those kills, but wait, does Brewmaster have... Okay, no, he had 2 blinks for some reason. He didn't have a split, so you can afford to lose Hesta Joe for C9 as long as he doesn't have a split. It's not a big deal. Now that he has a split again, you can see what they're trying to do with it. It's like, oh, we have Brewmaster ultimate. It's time to start a fight. It will be General who's in their sights with no rift to get out of there. Ooh, if he gets blink clap, I think he's just dead.
Yeah, he's super dead. And he tries to mech, buys a little bit of time, but not gonna happen. Rise actually getting that last hit. I mean, if you look back at yesterday's Secret game, you know, we draw a lot of parallels to it because of the picks. Brewmaster nearly won that game against Secret, and Secret had a silencer. So there was one point where Brewmaster was actually a top pick in the Chinese meta because of how powerful he is at just making fights impossible for the early game. So this game, Na'Vi have no answers, so it's no wonder why they're losing fights non-stop, with the Brewmaster constantly pinning 1 to 2 heroes out of the Na'Vi lineup. Oh, Noya going for the roll, prediction rolls. Will he get the kick though? Pycat doesn't have the TP in time. Oh, there's gonna be the roll. He recalls the bear in time, and well, they will lose the bear to the bear. So he's been feeding a lot of 300 bucks over, but he gets out.
Again, most of the time it's been Baby Knight to take the last hits on those Spirit Bears, so that's why we see this very, very reasonable amount of farm on Baby Knight. Silver Edge Dragonlance travels with a Hurricane Pike coming up next. And if you want to draw comparisons to the Secret game of yesterday with Secret vs C9, Baby Knight was not playing a hero that really kills towers. He was playing an Ember. And the difference between Ember and Shadow Fiend is that, well, when you're C9 and you win a fight with a Shadow Fiend, you kill all of the enemy's towers. When you win a fight with Ember Spirit, you kind of just kill a tower, maybe, if you're very lucky, and literally all the enemies are dead. This push power is gonna let them pretty much just end the game after a couple of these fights. Like, level 2 Primal Split, it still may be level 2 by the time this game ends if C9 really just play this tempo game out.
Yeah, you always say that, you know, it's gonna be at this level, and then it extends a few more levels after that. You have this thing where you jinx things.
I'm saying maybe.
Yeah.
And hey, I mean,
amount of
I'm down
times
for a longer
heroes
game.
don't hit 25, and then we go to a 60-minute grinder. So
yeah, that's my fault.
But,
that's on me. I'm sorry,
you know,
guys.
you make a really good point. The way that Cloud9 are pushing their advantages here, they're just waiting for another Aegis, and then they're gonna walk up the high ground, and then that will be Navi's last hold, pretty much, to see if they can actually pull some miraculous defense. With a Pudge, you can maybe botch a siege attempt with a hook, but it's gonna be a really long stretch. And Dendi, he has that Hurricane Pike, but nothing else really to be proud of right now. So Cloud9 just have to watch their positioning. Don't do silly things like they did yesterday, and they should be okay.
At this point, even if our men, like in a base siege scenario where Navi are defending, even if he does land a hook, there are Blink Daggers on Earth Spirit, Ursa, and Brewmaster. So yeah, by hooking one, you might just be essentially hooking 4 heroes into your base, and then all hell is going to break loose because the Lone Druid's positioning is going to be a lot harder to maintain once all those heroes blink in. I mean, at this point, C9 just have all these base items that allow them to reinforce and get around Navi's form of initiating, and now they're going to go for General, I think.
Yeah, General in a lot of trouble, silenced up. I think Pudge says, all right, I'm going to keep to myself, stay in the trees here. Goodbye, General. he was thinking about maybe hooking his buddy in with him, but realized that would have actually signed his own death sentence as well. So Armen's going to sit in the trees and think about life while they lose the Shrine.
Shrine's down, Roche is up in just under a minute, which should be the cue for C9 to make a tier 3 play once they get that Aegis. I sincerely doubt that Navi are going to be able to get out and contest that Roche. I don't think they really want to. So yeah, C9 should have pretty much all these objectives locked up, both Shrines and a Roche. Unless Navi pull out something big here, but they have no Underlords, so I don't know how that's going to happen.
They're going in for a fight. Joe, Dandy would just go banish and run, I think. Or they just leave Ironman. Okay, hook in the Shadow Fiend. The lift is there, but Biver gonna walk right into Annoya. And that's right, Annoya. There's the Shadow Fiend with the strike again. Gets the monster kill. And Navi running out of people. Highcat's got some decent items. What's he building?
2 more heroes down, and that guarantees Roshan for free. For C9, I mean, they had Ursa, so it was probably going to be free anyway, but wow, we have Ursa pushing and Shadow Fiend soloing Roche. That's different.
Yeah, they're messing around. Cloud9 thanks. Rise was solo warding again, but in this game, it's a lot safer too.
So Roche is now very dead, and they may be able to pick up another fat item on Baby Knight if it really does come to it. He's pretty close, but he has the ultimate orb, so just even more survivability. Diffusal Blade, a fresh item on the Ursa. Brewmaster just recently picked up his Vlads on top of Blink. He doesn't really need anything else to push in for the tier 3s. Navi are kind of in a position where they have to very, very secretly split push. We see General doing that right now. There's TP and the Dark Rift at his disposal, but can only do that for so long. Dendy's also doing it on top lane, but C9 are going to get to your base.
Yeah. Dendy is also going for a Blink Dagger, so no power spike, just a mobility item that will be coming out from all that farming. And forced to sell his bottle for that final push coming in as well, so really starting to cannibalize the inventory. Cloud9 looking to force Navi into a last stand position. And with that, actually possibly wiping their hopes and dreams out of StarSeries.
Well,
it's gonna be sad for all the fans out there.
Baby Knight just hit level 20, so he just got a lot of extra damage from his Necromastery.
Yep. Well, the problems compound, and Navi gonna try and make as much space as possible. I mean, at this point, that's all you can really do for your cause. Have your Pudge run around and stir up trouble. Hopefully they waste time. Maybe wait out that Aegis even. Speaking really hopefully, of course.
Yeah, I mean, C9 are still farming very rapidly. They're killing heroes up top lane too. Poor Rubik, man.
Yeah, they sniped him good. That was a kick there.
Pycat's gotta be careful. They can just turn around and kill Pycat.
I think they want to fight because there are not enough heroes, but there's the Brewmaster, and he's gonna go right in there. Navi are in a bad position. General is gonna go down, but there will be a save here on Dendy, so a nice little hook there, Armin. Gonna be pretty happy about that, but Pycat is spinning in the clouds. There's 6 seconds of holy goodness. He's gonna get kicked out there, and there you go. The hook not gonna save him this time, but the Savage Roll will. They will not get the Pudge save, and Baby Knight claims his life from the back lines. It's beyond godlike at this point, and I wouldn't be surprised if Navi called the GG. 27-7. It's brutality here in the Navi base.
Baby Knight and I think Rise weren't even in that fight. They were on bottom lane when that fight started. So yeah, it was just 3 heroes of Cloud9 casually killing all of Na'Vi, and Baby Knight arrives to the tail end of it as heroes normally do, and in the house. Like for Na'Vi, they just got way too underfarmed. They couldn't keep the Shadow Fiend down nearly enough, fed over way too many kills. And I think we have to attribute a lot of this C9 victory to this very aggressive, very successfully aggressive roaming duo. Like 4-0-19 Noya, he's set up like so many kills in this game to let them get into this snowball position.
Yeah, Noya has been a beast. There's no doubting that. I mean, it's not a real surprise. Hero
General?
has always been a good team already. Yeah, General is just doing some funny stuff. Gonna pull himself away. Joe is gonna get struck down by Pycat. There's a lot of DPS coming out. Pycat just going for the long range strikes, but Rise has that freezing field. He's got his number. The 4-star is there. Try and buy some time, but Noya there body blocking Pycat. The bear tries to get something done, but he gets smacked down. Mauled, the little man destroyed by the bigger bear. And General gonna dive with up time, and Cloud9 will strike Na'Vi out of StarSeries. So, Mike, do Na'Vi do something fun next game then? I mean, this is a guaranteed out, right? For this loss.
I said they were already out yesterday, and I was wrong. So I'm not gonna say they're guaranteed out. I'm just saying like their chances are approaching 0 very quickly.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they're out, but I'm sure someone